Yo, what's up, y'all? Y'all already know who it is, Dominican X Panther. And I'm about to get into this dude named Che Guevara. About to drop some science on this guy. South American, Latin American, revolutionary, putting it down for the Latinos and whatnot. And very controversial political figure. And I'm about to get, to the bottom of this dude right now. A lot of people consider him a murderer. I'm well aware of that. All of this talk about Che, rapist, murderer, all that, but I'm about to get to him. I'm about to break it down for all of you people who think he's a murderer, and whatnot. I'm about to give the facts and whatnot. So here we go. Let's get right into it. Che Guevara, as a man, was born in a middle class society in Argentina. This dude associated himself with all colors of people. Whether you were proletariat, or in other words, poor, middle class, rich, you were the Indian Argentinian, the mulatto Argentinian, the white Argentinian. Excuse me. He associated himself with those people. Now there, right off the bat, that should identify that Che as a person, or Ernesto, as people call him, he was a freedom fighter because of who he associated himself with. Middle class, and he loved all people of all colors. And now I'm about to dive further into this dude named Che. Che, grew up, he was a very intelligent young man, and he went to medical school in Argentina. After that, he went on a bike ride with his friends, a little road trip throughout, Latin America, South America, on a bike called the Ponderosa. Now, what this did to Che, he rode around the countries, and this made him politically aware of what was happening to his people. This showed him the face of poverty. And I can't recall what mine it was, but it was a mine in South America that he went to. It was American-owned, and the people that were being exploited economically. And this made Che politically aware of what was going on in this country. Now, what you have to realize is, not yet has Che become a radical. Not yet has Che truly feel inspired, or truly feels to take up arms and spark an insurrection. Right now, he's politically aware, and So let me keep moving on. And Che comes back from the trip, and he goes on to more traveling. Goes to Guatemala. Now in Guatemala, this is where really, stuff jumps off. And the first thing that Che noticed was, there were a lot of communists in South America, a lot of socialists, a lot of Marxists, and not only that, people who had nationalistic views. You don't always have to be a socialist or a communist or a Marxist. People who had nationalistic political ideologies. And what America did was they hired mercenaries, and they bombed Guatemala. And when they bombed Guatemala, they killed a lot of innocent people. Now, the thing with mercenaries is that when you hire a mercenary, you can't get filed for war crimes or in trouble. America couldn't get in trouble for any of that. What they did was so low profile that nobody could even know that they did it because they used mercenaries. And this hasn't yet triggered the radical conscience in Che yet. Not yet. Surprisingly enough. Now, he stays in Guatemala for a little longer, and a political figure known as Jacobo, and excuse me, I haven't spoke Spanish in a while, Jacobo Arbenez, if I am correct. Hold up, give me a moment. I think it's yes. Hold up. I'm trying to see if I got the right guy. I'm on Google. Give me a minute. Yeah, I think I have the right guy. Jacobo Arbenez Guzman was the president of Guatemala. Now get this, y'all. This is where Che finally um, is inspired. He finally becomes a radical and he starts writing and all of this. And let me break down what happens between Jacobo Arbenez Guzman. Um, okay, so Jacobo Arbenez Guzman, he's not really, I wouldn't call him a communist, but his policies for the country was nationalistic. He was reading in some socialist policies, you know, in some of the socialist. He was reading, about he was reading about socialism, and but his policies weren't socialist; they were nationalistic. Um, you know, refusing, foreign rule, foreign economic domination of America. And so what happened between the president of Guatemala and America was that since, these two, America wanted the natural resources. Excuse me, I'm messing up today. I'm just going to say Arbanez Guzman wanted to nationalize the natural resources, have the resources serve the people, it owned by the people. And America wasn't having it. They ousted Jacobo Arbenez Guzman, excuse me, and kicked them out. And I'm not talking about politely kicked them out. I'm talking about guns kicked them out. They didn't kill him, but they threatened him. And if he didn't leave, you can imagine what was going to what was going to go down. Somebody was gonna get a cap in their ass, excuse me. And yeah. So basically, they kicked him out, and this is when Che finally realizes, this is a big problem. This is bigger than some small, mine in a village. This is domination, globalization. This is something that is spreading, It's not something in one country. This is in other countries too. So then Che goes to Mexico. He stays in Mexico for a while, Here's about this dude named Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro went to school in, I think, Spain or Barcelona. I'm not sure. I think it was Spain as a lawyer. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I read the book on Che at least about 4 months ago. And yeah, so here's about a man named Fidel Castro. Now Fidel Castro and Che, if you notice, are two completely different people. People like to categorize and put these people in the same category. No. For one thing, Fidel Castro had a huge ego. A very, 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 very huge ego. And if you read the book by John Lee Anderson, he points that out very well. He had a huge ego. And when they first took over Cuba, Fidel shunned Che from the limelight. Didn't allow him at the meetings or at the ceremonies and none of that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Excuse me. Now, on the other hand, Che hears about Fidel Castro and his attempt to overthrow Fulgencio Batista, which was the Cuban dictator, and he was funded by America. Problem with this man was that he supported a lot of, racist Americans to come in and abuse the Afro-Cubans, the Indian Cubans, This man ruled this country with an iron fist.